What is up, hard rock and metal fans? Well, thank you all so much for your response to my video on the hypothetical album I could have made from Metallica's Load and Reload, the mid 2000s albums. And given the response, a very dear friend of mine suggested that, hey, why don't you do something similar on Guns N' Roses? If you were to combine Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, what sort of album would you create? And he is a phenomenal guitarist. He's a real music aficionado, someone who likes the same kind of music as I do, a big member of the community. So I invited him to actually be a part of this, and he graciously accepted. So what we're going to do is that we're going to hear from Pranav first about what he thinks would be the hypothetical album he would create from Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. And I'm going to follow that up with my take on what are the tracks that I think could be there as well. Many thanks again to all of you, and without further ado, here's Pranav.
So use your illusion 1 and 2. If I had to combine both the albums and make like a combined version of the 14 songs that I love, and both the albums again, they're like classics, obviously. They're not just like GNR classic albums, they're like one of the two albums in rock and roll that went down in rock and roll history as one of the best. It came out in that golden era of 1992, where it's like every band was producing like their best album basically. And here are my picks if User Illusion was just one album and not a double album. And this would be basically the 14 songs. So one is Right Next Door to Hell. It has that hard hitting sort of a Motorhead vibe, and many songs in User Illusion 1 has the same. It has that very upbeat tempo, and obviously Slash playing some really hard rock powerful riffs along with Axl Rose just screaming his lungs out. And the songs Back Off Bitch, Double Talking Jive, Perfect Crime, which has a very good solo I feel. And these four songs basically have that really fast, along with obviously the best one of them all in terms of that fast beat song, which is Garden of Eden. So these five songs hands down have to be there in the album, because they give that album a very hard rock sort of a edge to it. It reminds me a lot of the Appetite for Destruction, but like if Lemmy came in and gave them some advice basically. The other songs that I really like from the album, of course I'm gonna mention the classics, which is like Don't Cry and November Rain. I mean, that album is not just that album. I think rock and roll music without those two songs is incomplete. And the other song that I really like with specific regards, which is actually a cover of Guns N' Roses. It has many covers, of course, but this one specifically that really touched me was Live and Let Die, which was originally by Paul and Linda McCartney. The one thing I love about that song is how they basically enter into the chorus, which is that when Slash and the whole band just enters with a bang, and it has a very different flavor to it. It has that Don't Cry kind of a vibe, but like a lot more powerful, I feel. And of course, the other songs that sort of that Bad Apples, which has like a funky intro and stuff, and it was an okay song. Dead Horse, I didn't really like the intro. It kind of reminded me of a Nirvana rip-off, I feel. And Coma had a very like a November Rain kind of an approach, which was a 10-minute long song. It's almost like a prog rock song, but didn't really cut it. I mean, it was pretty much more or less a kind of a replica of the other songs in a way or two, of course. And moving forward in User Illusion 2, the songs that I really liked, obviously, I mean, we have to start with the classic again, Civil War, which is Slash, Duff McKagan and Axl Rose. I mean, the face of Guns N' Roses even now, after all these years. Who the guitar solo of that, and I'm a guitarist, so obviously I have that little bit of a guitar centric opinion, I guess, but I'm trying my best to keep it an overall opinion over here. Civil War, again, vocals, the Live and Let Die vibe again of that entering with a bang into the chorus, and the solos absolutely phenomenal. I mean, probably one of my top three songs of Guns N' Roses. 14 years, the exact opposite. I mean, that was the song that I absolutely did not like. I did not like that clash of the keyboard and piano, of the keyboard and guitar. Sorry, my bad. It was a very, very sour approach to blues, I feel, in my opinion. Whereas on the other hand, Yesterday's had a very estranged kind of a vibe, very okay. And then comes in another classic, which is a cover again by Guns N' Roses of Bob Dylan, which is Knocking on Heaven's Door. In fact, I heard that one first before Bob Dylan, and I was absolutely mesmerized by the way they covered it. They did a phenomenal job. It was absolutely one of those songs that really touched me, especially the guitar solos again. Um, in fact, these covers could have actually gone sideways, but Guns N' Roses really pulled that off like to its best. Shotgun Blues again, another take for me so that would be in the album as well. Um, the other one, of course, my favorite Guns N' Roses song of all time, which would be in the album, is Estranged. I mean, Axl Rose, again, a phenomenal songwriter that he is. And in fact, the whole band was kind of against him using the piano, I feel, Slash especially. But then the way it turned out to be, especially the guitar solos that Slash wrote for Estranged. In fact, he has said it in an interview also that he can never play that song just like how he would play the other Gun songs. He had to really practice for it because it had a lot of volume swells, a lot of a lot of these different approaches that he had to take, especially during the end solo when he just goes absolutely berserk, like in November Rain. So November Rain and Estranged for me have probably the best guitar solos, not just of GNR, but one of the best guitar solos that I've ever heard. You Could Be Mine, again, a good song. I would put that in. Has got a very good vibe to it. Again, now it has the other Don't Cry, which I feel is good as well. But for me, the original Don't Cry from the first one is amazing. Of course, then you've got Locomotive, Pretty Tied Up, and So Fine, which were okay songs. I didn't really feel that they should go in. So for me, the 14 songs that I would put in is Right Next Door to Hell, Live and Let Die, Don't Cry, the first one, Use Your Illusion, Perfect Crime, Back Off Bitch, Double Talking Jive, November Rain, Garden of Eden, and that is from the first one. And the second one would be Civil War, um, Shotgun Blues, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Estranged, You Could Be Mine, and yeah, that'd be the songs that I feel would be on the album. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 if it was a combined album.
Well, it's safe to say that I think that Pranav and I, have more of a liking and leaning towards the Use Your Illusion 1 albums because my track listing would be as follows. So I would kick things off with my favorite all-time Guns N' Roses track, which is You Could Be Mine. I mean, nothing comes close for me. I mean, this is my favorite song, hands down, by the band. I'd follow that up with Right Next Door to Hell, Perfect Crime, Don't Cry, but the Use Your Illusion 2 version. I think the lyrics, the melody, and the emotion with which Axel sings the alternative take is far more powerful. So obviously, Pranav and I have a slightly different view here, but my take would be this as number 4. Number 5, Dust and Bone. I just love it. I love Izzy singing on this. There's just no way this could not have made it onto my list. So coming in at number 5. Okay, number 6 is a guilty pleasure, Get in the Ring. I know a lot of people find it a bit cheesy. Some people find it a bit corny. Some people say that, it's not a very strong song. Some people love it. I'm in the latter group. I love this song. So it's coming in at number 6. Number 7, Back Off Bitch. Number 8, Civil War. And if I'm not wrong, guys, and correct me in the comments below, I think Steven Adler did play on this official studio tape before he was actually let go of, way back in the the early 90s or the late 80s, somewhere around that. I'm just forgetting the exact time frame, but I think he played on this. But it's a phenomenal track, coming in at number 8. Number 9, Double Talking Jive. Love it. Number 10, November Rain. I mean, it goes without saying, if you're a Guns N' Roses fan, you love this track. I know some guys don't. Maybe they feel it's overplayed and so on, but there's just no denying the power of this track. So, number 10, November Rain. Number 11, Garden of Eden. Number 12, Bad Obsession. Number 13, Coma. And number 14, Knocking on Heaven's Door. Between the two covers of Live and Let Die, which I still think is a damn good song and damn good cover, I prefer Knocking on Heaven's Door. I know many of you might say, well, two tracks which are not here would be The Garden featuring Alice Cooper. I really wanted to add it, but I'm sorry, well, only 14 tracks. That was the name of the game. So that track didn't make it. And of course, a lot of people would say, where the heck is Estranged? Now, Pranav likes it a lot. I'm not such a big fan of that song. It just doesn't work for me. I much prefer Coma. So it's just like the inverse or reverse of what Pranav and I feel about these two, lengthy two tracks which are on part one and part two. So there you have it, guys. That is our list. We'd love to hear from you. Please let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching right to the end. Thanks so much for the guys who have been so supportive and written in and shared your thoughts and comments. We'd love to hear more about what you think. Share the video, hit the subscribe button, share your thoughts on what I could probably do next. And even if you'd like Pranav to join me again, we can do that as well. Till then, take care, guys, and rock on.